Alright, today is February 2nd, and I'm going to go over what I've done to grow hot peppers and a few other things. I grew some zucchinis, cucumbers, lettuce, onions, things like that, but mainly hot peppers. I'm going to show you my setup real quick. You can get a grow tent. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. My wife said I couldn't spend a lot of money too, so just keeping this as cheap as possible. This is very cheap with stuff that I just had laying around the house. A box that is 4 foot long, and I lined with aluminum foil because you want to be able to reflect the plant light, so your leaves get as much light as possible. I have a 4 foot $10 fluorescent light from Home Depot. It has 2 bulbs in it, $10 a piece, so it's a $30 setup. I don't have a heat pad, because I didn't want to spend money. So I've got this heat lamp that my sugar gliders had. They don't need it anymore, they got a heat rock. And I've got a temperature gauge back there, because for hot peppers you want it to be about 80 degrees. They'll germinate at 70, but ideal is 75 to 85 degrees. So there was a method that I used before, where I just planted the seeds directly down into the soil. I'm going to stop doing that, because there's a fungal disease that your plants can get, and it's called dampening off, and I ended up getting it. I have a lot of cups back there that I'm pretty sure have it. I'll probably find out within the next week or so for sure. But I did have some other stuff, some jalapeños that I grew, ended up with dampening off, and they just fall over. And I've read a lot about that, and unfortunately there's no cure for it. So really there's only preventative things that you can do. One of the things that you need to do is have good air circulation. So I cut holes into the box so air can circulate in there. I make sure that I take the lid off, and I just let air get out, and then to have good circulation in the room, good air circulation. So I got my fan on in here, just blowing nice and soft to circulate the air. And then the other thing is to make sure that you're watering your plants from the bottom. In the 2-cup method, you have 2 cups. One is your bottom cup, which you fill with water, and the other cup is your what you're going to be using as a pot. And you cut a hole in the bottom, which you can see there. You cut a hole in the bottom, and you just put in a little bit of water into the bottom of your watering cup, and you just set it in there, and it soaks up from the bottom. And so you feed your plants from the bottom, and that helps reduce it. I'll go over that more in my next video. This video is going to be more about my setup, and then the paper towel germination method, which is going to be the only way that I do it. And I'm going to be doing it this way from now on, because hot pepper seeds can take anywhere from 7 days, 5 to 7 days, to 3 to 4 weeks to germinate. And unfortunately, with the fungal infection, they really affect seedlings and seeds that just haven't sprouted yet, or just start to sprout, or in young plants. Once they get more established, it won't affect it. So I just want to eliminate how much time my seedlings are in the soil. So we're going to go over the paper towel method, and really all you need is a pen, paper towel, your seeds, some water, and a plastic bag. And I'm not going to show that one because I just planted it, so I can show you basically what it looks like. And so what you do is, I'm going to get this out of the bag. I'm going to set the camera down. So what you do is you take a paper towel and just get a nice square and put your seeds down inside. Can't get this apart. One second. And you fold your paper towel in half, so it's, you know, a half section like this, and you lay your seeds down inside. So you can actually see how some of those have germinated. Now I like this method because another thing with damping off is that another thing that affects it is overcrowding of seeds. So you want to make sure that you don't have too many seeds that you've planted. You only want to plant the ones that actually germinated, because the other seeds will just decay and get in there and just feed growth, and you really don't want that. So I like this because then I know which seeds have actually germinated, and I can just plant those seeds. So I put a lot of seeds in here because I want to pick out the ones that germinated the strongest, that have the strongest roots on them, so I can get the strongest plant and give a better chance of, you know, having a healthy plant. So fold your napkin in half, or your paper towel in half, put your seeds in the center, and you just roll it over. I'll be planting those in the next, I don't know, within the next week. I'm gonna wait until they get a set of leaves on them, and or at least deeper roots, and then I'll plant them, and just get your crease. I do this so the seeds just don't fall out, and you spray some water on it. You don't want it like super soaking wet. You don't want it dripping, but you want it moist. I mean, you want to touch it and know that it's wet, and you want the whole napkin to be wet too. But you don't want it dripping. You just want it moist, and then you place it inside of your bag and seal it. And what happens is that the condensation that comes off the water will collect in the bag and just keep continuing and going back to the cloth and feeding it. So mark what you're growing. I suggest you put your germination dates so you know how long they've been in there. These have been in there 7 days. So that just goes to show you that you can see at about 7 days that these chocolate habaneros have germinated. So I'm going to go ahead and place this back in the bag. And then just, don't press down too hard. You don't want to damage the seeds, but seal your bag. And that's how you do the paper towel method. It's really easy, really cheap. And at least you know what gets germinated, so you're not wasting a lot of seeds. And if you only have 4, you can actually see which ones went, which ones grew, and which ones didn't. So that's what I've got going on. This is my little setup using the 2-cup method, which I'll cover in my next video once I decide to show you how I'm going to pot these. That'll be my next video. But I got some green lettuce in there, zucchini, and my nice cucumber plant that just shot up out of nowhere. Oh, it just grew really tall real fast. So that is my setup, and that is what I've done. I cannot take credit for everything that I've done here as if it was an original thought, because it really wasn't. I've read a lot on the internet, various articles and all kinds of stuff. I've watched a lot of videos, and a lot of stuff out there is actually really useless. Most of it just wasn't good, and I just didn't want to use it because I didn't have the money for all of it, so I just wanted to keep it as cheap as possible. So this is basically my grow tent, this little box. And next year I'll probably have something different if the wife okays me spending some money. I'll get a grow tent, and I'll get a nicer set of plant lights maybe, and we'll go from there. There's a really nice setup that you can see by this guy. His YouTube channel is Khang Starr, and he goes through hydroponic setups, and it's extremely informative. The sheer amount of information he puts out in his videos is amazing. He talks about fertilizers and hydroponics and grafting and doing just all kinds of really, really cool stuff. And if you ask a question, you know, he'll answer. I asked him a couple of questions, and he got back to me. I asked him about, you know, setting up some lighting, and he recommended the T5, which I was really looking at, but I just didn't have the money for it, so I went this cheap route. But I'll probably do something similar to that next year, once I know that I'm going to actually continue doing this. And the other site is Pepper Joe's. He's where I got the paper towel method from for germinating, and a majority of everybody uses that anyway. But he's got an informative channel on how to do that, and there's also question and answer sections for his site. He sells seeds too. None of my seeds came from his site, but they sell seeds there, so check that out. Check those two guys out. Pepper Joe is more organic growing. He doesn't use chemicals, Osmocote and hydroponic or anything like that. And then the Khang Starr, he uses chemical fertilizers and hydroponic nutrients, and it's amazing. I can't say that I won't use hydroponic nutrients, because after you watch Khang Starr's videos and you see the difference in a lot of his plants from what used it and what didn't, it's really amazing. It's really cool. So thank you for watching. I'll post another video in about 2 weeks, and I'll just go over, you know, how I'm potting these and show you how my plants are looking. I've got a lot in here. I've got a lot of peppers, which I'll list at the bottom of my video, going all the way from Carolina Reapers to the Trinidad Scorpion to ghost peppers to chili peppers to Cayenne, Anaheim, Hungarian wax, all kinds of peppers, Fataliis and Habaneros, and I could just go on. I'm growing a lot. So as long as any of this grows, it'll be good, and I know it will. You didn't see the damage from that damping off, but most of these plants have been, I've redone. All those in the back, those cups are going to get thrown away because they got redone. That's what that Serrano is down there. The Grand Bells and the Anaheim and the Cayennes right there. So once those all germinate, they'll go in cups. So I'm going to eventually get rid of those. I just kind of want to make sure maybe they're not dead. Pretty sure they are. But we'll see. Stay tuned for my cucumber plant. That is the highlight of my growing box. So thank you for watching.